Hey guys! So, I know I don't typically do building content. This isn't actually anything I planned to do on the channel originally. I've never been the best builder, but recently I've actually been learning to build thanks to some good friends of mine, Vados and Clay. Vados taught me interior, and then Clay helped me push with exterior design. So, I've now become a little bit more comfortable sharing my building and things like that. I'll be honest, a lot of the sets I had for series that I tried to do in the past that were deleted were not entirely built by me. Same goes with Magic Within. A lot of that set wasn't built by me. With this, I actually had an inspiration photo from Pinterest, which I'll throw up on the screen real quick. But for the most part, I didn't have a step-by-step tutorial. I really only had that one single angle. And so this is a build that I'm building for something called Loreworks. It's a world building SMP that I'm a part of. I've been a part of it for, it'll be, I think, a year in March. The reason you haven't seen a lot of content is because I've been really trying to adjust to the system of how to record for an SMP like that. I still haven't quite figured it out because replay mod, this is one of my first times working really with replay mod, and as I'm sure you guys can notice, my recording skills with replay aren't the best, and it's really hard to get OBS Studios booted up quick enough when you're caught into an in the moment RP moment when you're not really expecting to do that. So that's why you don't really see much content, because the content I do have, it doesn't make any sense without content I don't have. So I am working on making it so I can share that content with you guys. It's just a lot of missing pieces right now. And so I'm trying to figure out how to piece those together with the pieces that I'm missing without having those pieces or having the resources to get those pieces back. But for the time being, I'm going to try to explain a little bit of lore. So the Minecraft skin I'm wearing in this video isn't my character's skin, first of all. But I play a character named Elaine Hale, who is the sister of my now dead character, Caitlin Hale. And she lives in, Elaine Hale lives in Storytime, which is Clay is the king of the nation, and it is a nation based around Vikings. Also, I'm gonna quickly say this here, my building style, how I build, is not very organized. You'll see me a lot of the times place a block wrong, zoom to and from side to side. I'm not really very focused with my building. If I don't know how to do something, I'll work on something else and come back to it later. So this camera does jump around a lot. But Storytime is run by King Clay, and it is a nation revolving around Vikings. So a lot of the builds are Viking style. I built my own house for it. That's when I really became more invested in learning to build and things like that. You'll probably see a lot of Viking style builds on my channel for this, and I'm going to be using this very same world for everything. So there's not really going to be a lot of just, oh, it's a blank world. You'll see builds I've built in the past in the video. Heck, depending on how I decide to edit these videos later on, you'll see me, like, you might see builds that weren't posted, aren't going to be posted, or are going to be posted later. So, like I said, this is my first time working with replay. Sorry about the jumpy camera. I really just wanted to have fun with this one. Yeah, this is basically going to be a barn or stable, whichever you prefer to call it. So something I noticed in Storytime is there's nowhere to keep horses or animals and things. And so currently I want to say there's one donkey, two of Clay's horses, and then my horse just roaming around or on leads randomly throughout Storytime. So I realized that and I was like, huh. Well, that ain't good. So I decided to try to build a barn. So I went through Pinterest and I found a design that I really liked. And again, I'll throw it up here. And so, as you can see, it has the oak logs and the spruce outlines and a blue roof. And I said, that looks really nice and all, but it's hard for me to get some of these resources. So I'm going to change them to something I'm more easily accessible to me. Also, like I mentioned earlier, I believe, I never intended for the Ion Archery channel to be a building channel. It's more so for roleplay content, which, by the way, Magic Within is still in progress. There was a bit of complications, but it is still in progress. I just had to rewrite some things. It might be coming out later rather than sooner, which isn't really the best thing ever, but it will be coming out sometime, hopefully this year. But anyway, back to this. So the reason I wanted to start making build content is because I used to build like this. This is something I built, I want to say, about 4 months ago. And it was on Loreworks, and I made a bit of a joke about it, like, oh, so-and-so in my nation, because this was back when I was playing Caitlyn and I had my own nation. I was the queen of it. So-and-so in my nation said this was beyond saving, and it really kind of is. I won't lie, it's an awful build. I knew it when I built it, and I went to the person, I was like, hey dude, can you help me fix it? And he was like, no, this is beyond saving, and he just destroyed it, which can be a little motivation wrecking, I won't lie. Granted, I knew he was gonna say that when I showed it to him. There's a few people you can joke with in Loreworks and stuff, but what really hurts is when over and over that joke is made. There was a period of time where I lost all inspiration to learn to build. It was something I had an interest in when I first joined Loreworks. And then that motivation was lost due to the joking around, or sometimes people would take it too far. At some point, someone said that I should stay in Drakeheim because of my builds, because Drakeheim is far away from everything else. And that was kind of something that made me realize that sometimes people tend to think that people can improve, and then sometimes people think that once you're at a skill point, you're stuck there. And not only that, but sometimes people feel like certain people can improve while others can't. And so I want my channel to support people and show them that if you really want to learn a skill, you can, no matter what people say about it. I have been picked on recently relentlessly for my building abilities. It's been over text, so I cannot be sure if it was serious or just joking. When it's over voice, I can tell. When it's over text, I can't. Regardless, it inspired me to build this and record it for the first time. And to take the hours out of my day to go through replay mod and set up all the positions to make this video, and to take the time to go into Adobe Premiere Pro, a program I have just barely learned to use through one of my college courses, and to edit this video for you all to see. Building is still something I'm not entirely confident in. I won't lie. I'm still nervous to show people my builds. I act confident on Loreworks. I act confident about pretty much everything when it comes to building. But I'm really not. It's a lot of faking it till you make it. I'm not going to lie to you guys. A lot of the times it isn't easy figuring out how to build something. I have one build I'm working on for something else that requires a moon, and I just don't know how to do it. And I've been trying to figure it out. A lot of learning to build is just not giving up. And that can be hard when you feel like you just can't do it. And so I don't want anyone to feel like they just can't do it. And again, this is where my building skill was about 4 months ago. And about 2 months after that, I stopped building entirely because people started picking on me for my building skills, because anytime I tried to build, it ended up looking kind of crappy, and so I just gave up. And then an opportunity arose, but I needed to build. I needed to be able to build to do the thing. And so, in order to do the thing, I forced myself to build again. And I'll be honest, it looked like crap. I took a lot of inspiration from the nation I used to run, Salacia, in Loreworks. And the only issue was Salacia was a nation of trees and nature, while this new nation I was working on was a nation of ice and cold and mountains. So that's when Clay came in to help, and that's when he taught me how he builds, and that's how I learned to be able to do this that you're seeing on the screen with the roof. How I learned that not everything has to be one uniform shape, that things can poke out, protrude, be uneven even. That was funny to say. But my point that I've said multiple times over in this video already is, don't feel like you can't learn a skill just because you don't already have it. There's always going to be people trying to get you down. And there's always going to be people who don't seem to understand that you can, regardless of what they think. And sometimes dealing with that is hard, and it's not something you should have to deal with. But if you do, don't let it get you down, and don't let it stop you from doing what you love or what you want to love. Even if you aren't good at it yet, you can see me going through constantly changing things, updating things, making things better. Initially, I wanted one of these back walls to be open, because typically, if you look at a barn in real life, there's a walkway all the way through the barn, but that just wasn't working here. So I just blocked off one of the walls because I needed a ladder and I couldn't figure out anywhere else to put it. You can see here, I'm going to put this wall in, but then I'm going to move it out again. The point is, it's a lot of trial and error. And a lot of times, people don't like the trial and error part of it. Because people tend to think that, I shouldn't say that, because people do understand typically that there's a trial and error. It's just that sometimes people don't tend to understand that. Sometimes people don't know how that process works. Like I didn't. I thought it was a one and done thing because that's what I'd always seen on time-lapse builds, which is also another reason why I'm posting this. I'm not trying to be rude to other building content YouTubers. It's weird calling myself that because I wasn't planning on ever doing this. But a lot of those time lapses are one and done situations. They never break a block unless it's just there to help them place a log or something. They literally one and done everything, and it looks like they have this perfect plan built out in their head, when in reality it's almost never like that. And I feel like that can get people pretty down in the dumps, because you see these time lapses of people just going for it and not having any sort of, but you see them going for it without any of these complications or anything like that, and you think, why can't I do that? Why can't I build like that? Why can't I do it one time over and not make a single mistake? And it's because that's impossible. Because everyone who builds is human, unless you program some AI, and even then, it's made by a human. And humans make mistakes all the time. You are bound to make a mistake one time or another. But a lot of times, people in the public don't want to show them making a mistake. So they cut it out of the video. And for me, when I first tried to learn to build several years back, that really got me down. Because I kept seeing these one and done videos where they just go for it, and then they don't have a single mistake in their entire thing. And it's just a lot of, why can't I build like that? And I don't want anyone to ever feel like that. So I'm making this. And I know I'm saying a lot of this is why I'm making this, but there are a lot of reasons I'm making this, and I want to share that in the first building video that I've ever even thought about doing. And this is the first building video that I ever made, because I never planned on posting building videos. I never even thought to do it, because I never thought I'd get to this level, because I got picked on so much for my building abilities. And so, again, I never want anyone to feel like that, because it hurts. And I know it hurts. And I wouldn't want anyone else to feel that hurt like I did. So, enjoy the rest of the video. And I hope you guys enjoy this Viking themed stable or barn.